And so this next question comes from Sumo Slam. Oh no, this one comes from a dummy bot. Sorry, I changed the order a little bit. And they ask, is age a factor? I'm in high school and I've been refolding intensively for about 4 months. Yeah, though I had a pretty solid base from 3 years of Spanish in high school or in school. My progress seems to have gone a lot faster than a lot of updates I see online, even accounting for my mostly inefficient classroom hours. I was wondering if there is an age factor that is due to this, or if it's just sort of noise in the system. And how does age reflect immersion learning and refolding?
Sure.
Or impact? Reflects is not the right word. Sorry.
Sure. No. So the real answer is we don't exactly know. There's lots of studies out there that say age is an important factor. That there's this critical period hypothesis that says if you don't learn a language before a certain age, then you can't achieve a native level. I've read a bunch of those studies, and in my opinion, those studies are not well designed and not really don't actually provide a conclusion. So I would not necessarily trust those things, but there does seem to be some sort of age factor. Obviously, a baby learning, it can reach a native level much, much easier than an adult. So there is some age factor involved. How much it impacts you is still open to research. We still don't know. And it is difficult to tease out whether the differences between people of different ages has to do with the amount of time that they can reasonably spend, because if you're younger, you don't have as many responsibilities. You can just invest more time over a shorter period of time. There are definitely degradations in the brain over time. So your brain becomes worse at memorizing information. I'm in my mid 30s now, and I have definitely noticed that my brain is less sharp than it was in my 20s. So there is 100% an age factor in there. And so I would say, yes, there is some age factor, but it is not clear how much of a factor that is versus the natural variation in people's abilities to learn things, to memorize things, or people's personal, the way they view language learning. Mm-hmm. What we've noticed is a lot of our clients will have a certain perspective about their language learning. And once we change their perspective on it, they learn much faster. And so there seem to be a lot of different mechanisms in the way that you approach it and the way that your brain works and the way that you think about it that have an impact on how much you get out of the process. And those have not been fully mapped out, and we don't have a good understanding of how they all work together. So it's entirely possible that those things play a much larger role than age does, but we honestly don't know at this point.
Yeah, it's very difficult to say, oh, this person is learning faster because they're younger, or just because they're happening more talented, or they have more time. It's very difficult to tease apart those things.
Yeah.
My guess is that there's sort of like multipliers that everybody has in like their RPG chart or whatever.
Sure.
And age is probably one of the multipliers. Like it's probably got something to do with it, but it might not be like a 5x multiplier, just like a 1.05 or whatever, like a 5% increase or something like that. And then if you have a couple of those, then you're going to just end up learning faster.
Yeah. The one study that's most popular around the critical period hypothesis, the way that they set up the study, the way that they looked at it is they just looked at whether people achieve what they considered sort of like a high level fluency and what age they started studying, and then drew those like correlations and then used that as a causation to say, age is clearly a factor because people who start studying before age 17 reach much higher levels than people who don't. And it's like, well, there might be some confounding factors in there. So
have you ever heard of a job? It makes things harder.
Exactly. So it is important to pay attention to the confounding factors. We definitely want to study them over time. But right now, we cannot definitively say whether age has an impact that is more or less significant than other confounding factors that may influence your ability to learn.
Hey, as you know, there's a lot of language learning advice out there, which can make it kind of overwhelming and difficult to actually get going on your own learning. If you feel like you're struggling to figure out language learning, you're not alone. It's an extremely complicated process with tons of different steps. If you're looking for a step-by-step guide to create the perfect language learning routine for you, then you have to check out our new course. We spent thousands of hours designing a simple and straightforward process that you can use to create your own personalized language routine that actually works. We understand that every learner is different and that you have to roll with the punches and adapt. Every day for 30 days, I walk you through everything you need to know to build an effective learning routine, no matter your circumstances. We give you the advice and resources you need to ensure your success, so you don't have to waste time looking for stuff to do and can focus on learning. And if any questions do come up, don't worry. We are always there to answer any questions and clear up confusion. And it's all backed by our 90-day, no questions asked, money-back guarantee. If, for whatever reason, something's not quite working for you, we insist you get every penny back. It's time for you to stop wishing that you could learn a second language. It's time to become the master of your language learning journey. Check out the link below to get instant access and start your journey today.